Hello and welcome to the Pretty Good Gaming Daily Triple, your no shit gaming news video. That's 3 news stories in one video with zero faff. Spider-Man is one of Sony's most successful games ever and helped define this console generation. This will continue into the next generation as Spider-Man Miles Morales is a launch title for the PS5. The Ultimate Edition of Miles Morales will include a remastered version of the original game, which is great for newcomers. But if you already own the game or want to play the upgraded version, you'll have to start again completely from scratch as the game doesn't support cross-saves. This Spider-Man remaster is also a PS5 exclusive, but the Miles Morales game is available on PS4, which doesn't really seem to make much sense since both games share assets and run on the exact same hardware. Insomniac described the remaster saying, "Many art assets have been updated to take advantage of the PS5 console's horsepower. Better looking characters with improved skin, eyes, hair, and facial animation, ray-traced reflections and ambient shadows, improved lighting, more pedestrians and vehicles stretching into the distance. Optimal performance mode for a targeted 60 FPS frame rate, near instant loading, 3D audio, dual sense controllers haptic feedback, 3 suits, new photo mode features, and even new trophies." But my question is, if the PS4 can run Miles Morales, why can't it run this remaster? On top of that, there is no physical release plan for the remastered version. Currently, the only way to get the remaster is to buy the Ultimate Edition of Miles Morales, meaning that if you already own the original, you'll have to pay again. This certainly could change, and Sony could announce that all owners of the game get a free upgrade, which is something that many companies are running with already. In previous years, this would have been an annoyance, but something we just have to sit down and accept. But now, as more and more companies adopt free upgrade schemes, people question what's stopping those that don't, especially enormous companies like Sony. The standard version of Spider-Man Miles Morales, which does not feature the 2018 game remaster, is $51.99 on both PS4 and PS5. The Ultimate Edition, which does feature the remaster, is only on PS5 and costs $69.99. That's already a very steep price to pay for a game, and it's up to you if you're willing to pay that, but if you already owned 2018 Spider-Man game, you're effectively paying £17 for the upgraded version. If you have a physical copy of Peter Parker's game, it will run on the PS5 through backwards compatibility, but it will just be the standard version of the game. The price isn't so bad for you Americans, as your average price is only going up by $10 from $60 to $70, but in the UK, our average is only about £50, and that's going up by £20, which is the equivalent of $25. I touched on the idea last week that $70 could be reasonable if the game is actually content complete and not riddled with bugs or microtransactions, but that's still a lot of money to spend on a game, especially if the currency conversion screws over people outside of the US. Before working on YouTube, I very rarely bought games full price because I just couldn't afford to, and I only started buying more on day one to stay on top of the new releases. This is why services like Game Pass are so great, because all Microsoft first-party titles arrive on the service straight away, and the price stays the same. But my question to you would be, is all this just a bullshit move from Sony to make more money, or is it controversy for the sake of controversy, and this is just how all businesses work? And next up, Metal Gear is one of the most popular gaming franchises and helped shape how the industry operates today. Metal Gear Solid is one of the last remaining major classic PS1 titles that is yet to receive a remake for modern hardware, but I'll get onto that one in just a moment. First, according to new age classifications in Taiwan, the original Metal Gear on the MSX, Metal Gear Solid, and Metal Gear Solid 2 are all coming to PC. MGS1 and 2 were technically playable on PC in the past, but are now unplayable on modern machines and aren't listed on storefronts like Steam or GOG. Even if you do own the games on disc, it's pretty unlikely that your PC will even run them because the games just aren't compatible with modern hardware. One person even managed to mod MGS1 to be playable on modern systems, but it was an imperfect solution which came with its own issues. The version of MGS2 which is coming to PC is Substance rather than the standard Sons of the Patriots, which is a sort of deluxe edition with additional content and features. These games coming to PC is great news for fans of the game on that platform, but now for the juicier bit. There are new rumours floating about that a full remake of Metal Gear Solid is coming and that it will be a PS5 console exclusive. At the moment, there is zero evidence for this beyond a video by YouTuber Red Gaming Tech, who claims to have his own sources. According to his alleged sources, the game is not a port and is a full remake. It could easily all be total bollocks, but we've seen a number of different rumours about a new remake crop up over the past few months, so there may be a kernel of truth to some of it. Red Tech Gaming supposedly has a reliable track record of being correct about leaks in the past, and also seem to have knowledge about the PC ports of MGS1 and 2. If this talk of remakes is true, this will be the second full remake of the game to come out since the original launched back in 1998. The game was remade in 2004 with Metal Gear Solid The Twin Snakes for GameCube, but this new rumoured remake is said to be a completely new thing. Honestly, it seems like a new rumour about a Metal Gear remake shows up online every couple of months, so I just just don't believe any of them anymore. There have been suggestions that Sony was looking to buy Konami, much like how Microsoft just bought Bethesda, or that it would buy out the Metal Gear and Silent Hill IPs. Another suggestion was that the remake was actually of the original Metal Gear game from 1987 rather than Metal Gear Solid. And then there's the Kojima question. The visionary director had a very messy split with Konami, and the franchise was one of the casualties. This puts the series in a very difficult place in relation to its creator. If Sony did buy the IP, it already has an established relationship with Kojima and Kojima Productions, so I could see them giving him the project. Obviously, I would really love a Metal Gear or Metal Gear Solid remake, but until there is something concrete, I'm not getting my hopes up. And finally, everyone hates loot boxes, that much is clear, but after multiple controversies and reports of how they are gambling, the governments of the world are starting to step in. The UK government has now officially called for evidence on loot boxes with a 9-page document that seeks to understand the experience of video games players, the impact of loot boxes including any evidence of potential harms, the size, scale and functioning of the loot box and in-game purchases market in the UK, and the impact of current voluntary and statutory protections such as controls to manage spending and access, video games labels, and consumer relations. The document also provides a lengthy definition of what loot boxes are by highlighting how they are different from other microtransactions and what they contain, such as gameplay benefits or cosmetics. It also outlines several questions such as, do loot boxes cause any harm to players and what evidence is there to support this? How many and what kind of video games contain loot boxes? And how are loot boxes used in games? There are links in the description to this full document and the full questionnaire. So, my fellow UK residents, now the power is in your hands to make your voice heard and explain exactly why loot boxes do not belong in video games. And that's your lot for today. If you enjoyed this no shit format, go ahead and give the video a like to give it a boost, hit subscribe and the bell if you want to stay up to date on all future installments. Toss a coin to your YouTuber over at patreon.com/prettygoodgaming. That's all for today. I've been Henry Cooper. Bye for now.